guys, welcome back to my channel. Mermaid Nina here. Well, I'm back with the final itinerary game plan video for the kiddos. That's right. So for those of you headed to Epcot with littles, I'm talking like ages maybe 5 or 6 and younger, the kiddos who don't really want to do thrill, they don't really want to do coasters. For families who really want to focus on shows and characters and kiddie rides, this video is for you. If you have watched my other itinerary game plan videos, you will know that I'm not a huge fan of itineraries because they are not one size fits all. Everybody comes from a different place with different age groups, with different interests and all those things. And therefore it's hard to say 100% everyone should do this and it's gonna be amazing. But with that said, this is a tried and true plan that my family has done several times in a row. And so we always continuously test out these itineraries and these game plans to see if they do indeed work for the most part. So like I said, this is Epcot, focusing on those kiddos. So here's a few things I want to mention in advance. First of all, the best thing for you to do is make sure you plan ahead. Now I am going to be following the current park map and I'm going to pop up pictures of the map for you to see, but it's a really good idea for you guys to go ahead and get a park map if you can get one, or find the park map on the app, which I show you in my app video. But this is going to really help you out, especially if you make like a top 5 or a top 10 list for each park. That way, if I hit all the things you're interested in this itinerary, great. If I missed a few things, then you need to adjust a little bit to make this fit for you. So basically, this is what my family does. You can adjust this and make it fit for you and your needs, but doing that research will indeed help. Also, Epcot is kind of weird because there's 2 ways you can enter Epcot. For most people, you are entering the main entrance. These are people who are going to stay off property. They're driving. These are for people who are coming in via the bus system or the monorail. The other entrance is for people who are staying at Epcot Resort hotels or for people staying on the Skyliner. You guys are coming in through the back end of Epcot. You're coming in through the International Gateway. So unfortunately, this makes Epcot kind of difficult for game planning because it really just depends which entrance you're going to use. Because obviously, if you're going to enter through the main gate, you want to do those main gate rides first. If you're entering through the World Showcase, you're entering through the back side. So you have different access to rides than the main entrance people have. Does this make sense? Make sure you check out my other Epcot itinerary planning video because I talk more about these 2 different entrances. But for the purpose of this video, we are going to start with the main entrance because that's the majority of people. Anyone staying at a non-Epcot Disney Resort hotel, you're coming in by bus. Anyone staying on the monorail, you're coming in by monorail. Anyone staying off property or local, you guys are also coming in through the main entrance. But I will talk a little bit about the International Gateway entrance people at the end of the video, so stay tuned. This stuff will still be helpful for you. You just might have to reverse the planning a little bit for the International Gateway people. And also, like I said, guys, I have lots of videos about Epcot with kids, Epcot where I show you how much we can get done in a day. Watching those videos is kind of like a real-time account where you can actually see how much my family can do in a day. Plus, you get a sneak peek of the rides and the different situations that you could encounter at Epcot. So it's really helpful to watch these itinerary game plan videos and to watch those Epcot vlogs, which are already up on my channel. So putting them together kind of gives you the best way to come up with that game plan for your family. And as always, guys, we will be using Genie Plus in this game plan. I get it. Genie Plus is pricey, and for Epcot at least, there's not a lot of stuff you guys are actually going to be Genie Plusing for this itinerary. However, you have to consider if saving 3 rides or 2 rides that are over an hour long is worth it to you to spend the money, then yes, get Genie Plus. Kiddos hate waiting in line. Adults, parents hate waiting in line. So in the end of the day, is it gonna be worth it to you to not have to wait 60 minutes, 2 hours for a single ride and just go ahead and get Genie Plus? Only you can decide, but yes, we'll be using Genie Plus for the purpose of this video. If you're not getting Genie Plus, you can still use the same game plan itinerary. You just might not get as much done, or you might have to spend more time in Epcot than perhaps people using Genie Plus. So just kind of know that going forward. You guys ready? Let's get started. All right, first things first, it's 7 a.m. You've already purchased Genie Plus, right? If that's the goal. So you need to get your first Genie Plus ride. Now there's a bit of a situation here. You basically want to pick between Remy, Ratatouille's Adventure, right, Remy, or you want to pick Frozen Ever After in Norway. These are going to be your top 2 rides for kiddos. You don't really want to pass anything else. You want to focus on Remy and Frozen. The quicker you can get both Remy and Frozen, those passes, the better it's going to be for your family. So right now, currently, as I film this video, Remy is booking sooner than Frozen. So if your family is interested in Remy, Ratatouille, right? You want to go ahead and pass that at 7 a.m. Now, we don't know what time you're going to get because these passes go so fast. You could get a pass at 10 a.m. and you could get a pass at 2 p.m. Doesn't really matter, just get the pass. Sadly, you might have to adjust this itinerary to aim for whatever time these passes are for, but just know that going into it, 7 a.m. Genie Plus, you want to get Remy. If you can't or not interested in Remy, then you want to get Frozen. For those of you who want to purchase an individual lightning lane, that is those of you who are staying at a Disney resort, go ahead and get Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy is a virtual reality ride, not necessarily suited for kiddos, but if the parents in the group, the older kids in the group, whoever in the group want to do Guardians of the Galaxy, just go ahead and purchase that pass for whoever wants it. And you want to aim for morning if you're main entrance people. If you're international gateway people, then you want to aim for later on in the day, 1 to 3 o'clock-ish is what you want to aim for. For those of you who are doing virtual queue, good luck. Whatever time you get, you're just going to have to make it work. But that's what you're going to do at 7 a.m. Disney Resort guests. You're going to aim for Remy. If not Remy, Frozen. And you're going to get that Guardians of the Galaxy for the older people, the older thrill seekers there who are interested in that ride. Either way, the goal here is to pass the key rides. You do not, and I repeat this because I see people doing it all the time, Epcot especially, do not waste your passes on the kiddie rides. It's a waste of a pass. You might not be able to get the pass you really wanted because you wasted an early pass on something like Nemo. So just make sure, no matter what, your focus is the key rides. Unfortunately, Finding Nemo is just not a key ride that you want to use one of your passes for. So kind of know that in advance. And then throughout the day, when you're waiting for passes to happen, that's when it's a good time to explore the World Showcase and to meet and greet those characters. Again, you're going to find out how to meet characters on the app. I have a whole video about it. So we got our passes at 7 a.m. It's time to enter the park. You guys ready? So again, resort guests, you get to go in a half an hour early, which is great for you because you can hit some of those main entrance rides right away. You don't have to worry about passes for them. You don't have to worry about waiting in line for them. You can just boom, boom, boom. I highly suggest this. So early entrance people, go ahead. First thing you're gonna do, Spaceship Earth. No pass, no wait. Do it. For those of you who are waiting a little bit after rope drop, a little bit after park opening, yes, do Spaceship Earth first, depending on your other Genie Pluses that you already got. But yeah, you're going to be waiting a little bit. Spaceship Earth can actually get up to an hour long, but depending on when you're going, you know, seasonally, all that good stuff, hopefully it's not too bad first thing in the morning. So yes, first thing, Spaceship Earth, no pass. Then for those of you who might have that early Guardians of the Galaxy, go ahead and do that Guardians of the Galaxy if it's time. For everyone else, we're going to go ahead and go to the right. Again, I'm flashing up maps. You're going to go to the right and you're going to do Finding Nemo. Again, no pass. We are not wasting passes on these rides. First of all, we already have a pass for Remy, right? That's kind of like sitting in the bank. It's for later in the day. It's just kind of sitting there. Therefore, we're doing all these early rides, boom, 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 no wait, no pass. Hopefully, you know, you guys are kind of with me on this one. So you did Spaceship Earth, Guardians of the Galaxy people, if it's time, go ahead, do that. Everyone else, we're gonna do Finding Nemo. After we've done Finding Nemo, this is a great way for the kiddos to explore a little bit. You can do the Sea Base Aquarium, if you're interested in that. Manatees, dolphins, they have a turtle that's over 100 years old. They have a bunch of amazing fish and things in that aquarium. And you can do Turtle Talk with Crush as time permits. Basically, you're killing time. You're killing time till A, it's time to get another pass, or B, it's time for Remy or whatever you got going on. We're just killing time in the Nemo area. Next thing up is we're gonna go to the Land Pavilion. Inside this pavilion is gonna be Soarin' and Living with the Land. Now, depending on what time it is. At 7 a.m., you got Remy, right? Remy or Frozen, it's kind of sitting there, you haven't ridden it yet. Rules are, if you wait 2 hours after park opening, as long as this is still sitting here for later in the day, you get to pass again. So about 11 o'clock, could be slightly sooner. Again, it's gonna tell you on the app. If you haven't ridden that Remy or Frozen pass yet, you can pass again. This is officially stacking passes. This is when you need to make a decision, right? Depending on the season, depending on wait times and all that great stuff. If it's time for you to pass again, go ahead and pass Frozen if Soarin' has a low wait. You don't want to pass Soarin' if it's a 20-minute wait. You do want to pass Soarin' if it's an over hour wait. But right now, season depending, this is when you got to look at your phone and go, okay, well, how long is Soarin'? How long does Frozen have a lot of passes yet? You got to make that game call decision. I'm hoping this makes sense. You already have Remy. At this point, you need to pick between Frozen and Soarin'. Right now, for all intents and purposes, it doesn't matter which one you pick. You're in the Land Pavilion, so you're going to ride Soarin' and Living with the Land, depending on which one and the wait times and go forth. So whether you passed Soarin' and you're waiting for it, therefore you're gonna ride Living with the Land, or you passed Frozen, again, you're gonna wait for it, then you're gonna ride Soarin' and Living with the Land. They're all in the same area. So it's getting close to lunchtime, hopefully. You guys have done Spaceship Earth, possibly your Guardians of the Galaxy. You've done Finding Nemo, you explored the Sea Base Aquarium, possibly did Turtle Talk with Crush. Then you've done Soarin', or you passed Soarin' and then you rode Soarin', and you've done Living with the Land. You should, in your bank over here, your Genie Plus bank, you should have Frozen and Remy chilling up here. Hopefully you're with me. If you chose to pass Soarin', that's great. As soon as you rode Soarin', you should have been able to pass Frozen. So just keep passing. As long as Genie Plus is gonna let you pass, Remy, Frozen, Soarin'. Just think in your head, Remy, Frozen, Soarin', that is your game plan. So you've ridden all those rides and it's possibly time for lunch. And you're in the Land Pavilion anyway, so 60 days in advance, hopefully you got reservations for Garden Grill. Garden Grill is the character meal over at Epcot featuring Chip and Dale, Mickey, and Pluto. The restaurant does rotate a little bit, but nothing major, nothing you need to worry about for motion sickness. I have a whole video up on Garden Grill. So yes, that is my advice. You have kiddos, get reservations for Garden Grill. And like I said, you're in the same area. Living with the Land, Soarin', Garden Grill, same area, same building. Just boom, 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 get it done. Again, if it's time to Genie Plus, whether before lunch or after lunch, whatever you need to do, again, it's gonna be annoying, guys. Remy, Frozen, Soarin'. Remy, Frozen, Soarin'. Just keep thinking about that, okay? So we've had lunch and it's time to work our way towards the World Showcase, right? Because we've got Remy and Frozen to do, hopefully a little bit later in the day. Now, if for some reason you got Remy and you got Frozen and it's time already, go, go, go. Go do those things. We can do this other stuff later. Okay, because you definitely want to take care of Remy and Frozen. So if those have that time has already come up for you and it's time to go ride those things, go do it. You can come back and do this other stuff later. But for the purpose of the map flow, we're going to stick to the flow here. So we've had lunch. Next thing on our plate is going to be Figment. That's right. Journey into the imagination with Figment. Nina hates this ride. Her kiddos love this ride. Doesn't matter. Doesn't normally have a wait. So yep, you're going to just walk onto Figment. No pass. Again, it's not Remy. It's not Frozen. It's not Soarin'. We're not going to worry about it. Go do Figment if time permits. Now, what's fun about Figment, again, not a fan of the ride. After the ride, as you exit the ride, they have a whole, like interactive instrument area where kids can kind of kill time, right? And have a little fun. Plus, there's character meet and greets in that area. So they have Wreck-It Ralph characters. You can meet Ralph or Vanellope. And then they have Inside Out characters where I do believe it's between joy and sadness that you can meet. So you're riding Figment, you're doing some interactiveness, and you're meeting characters. Boom, 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 one area. All right, so we've had lunch, we've done Figment, we've met a few characters, and now it's time to enter the World Showcase. Now this is when it's gonna kind of divide and conquer for you. You have to look at your passes. Which one is first, Remy or Frozen? And by first, I mean which one has the return time that's soonest. Depending on that return time, that's what direction you go. So if you have Remy, you're gonna go to the right towards Canada. If Frozen is first, you're gonna go to the left towards the Mexican Pavilion because Frozen is in Norway. This is when you're gonna start exploring the World Showcase while you kill time and wait for Remy and Frozen to begin. So you're in the World Showcase, depending on which way you went, right? If you went towards the Frozen area, you're gonna hit Mexico first. Go ahead and go inside the Mexican Pavilion and do the Fiesta, the Grand Fiesta tour featuring Donald Duck as part of the Three Caballeros. Absolutely love that ride. I show it all the time in my videos, but that's the first country you're gonna see anyway, is Mexico. If you go to the left. Obviously, if you go to the right, you go to Canada, you're gonna work your way. But this is what you're gonna do. You can now explore the World Showcase because that's where you are while you're waiting for Frozen and Remy. You can do everything between meeting characters, right? So Frozen has Elsa and Anna, and then the princesses are in their various spots, right? We've got Snow White in Germany, we've got Jasmine in Morocco, we've got Belle and Aurora in Paris. So just kind of explore and look at that. Again, check the app for where the characters are located. This is a great time to get your snack on. Depending on what time of year it is, you're gonna be in the middle of an Epcot festival. So this is a great time to kind of get a few snacks and eat as you explore the World Showcase. You can also do the new DuckTales adventure game, which is on the app. It's actually through the Disney Play app on your phone. Now, disclaimer, I'm not a huge fan. The kids and I just recently did the DuckTales adventure game. It's one of those things where it just takes you all over the place. You are looking for something that you have to scan, and you have to play on your phone, so you have to find something, you have to make sure your phone is working, you have good Wi-Fi, you have good battery length, all that great stuff, and it's taking you all over the place, and it's not something I necessarily suggest for a new family, for someone who doesn't really know what they're doing, who doesn't really know the World Showcase, who is trying to stick to this itinerary game plan. I don't know if it's a good idea for you guys to be running about not knowing what you're doing, but if that is something that's truly important to you, then do your research and go ahead and do the DuckTales adventure game. Again, you need to have the Disney Play app, which requires you to have an account. You need to have a fully charged phone and possibly good Wi-Fi because you're going to be all over the place trying to find something, scanning something, listening to something. I mean, it's very involved. The other thing you can do is actually one of Nina's favorites is to do the scavenger hunt. So assuming there's a festival going on, whether it's Food and Wine, Flower and Garden, Holiday, whatever, they usually have some sort of map that you will purchase in the gift shop for about $10. And then there's going to be little statues and figurines throughout the World Showcase that you need to visually kind of find. It's not as intense as the DuckTales adventure game, but it's still kind of fun because you can be walking throughout the World Showcase, going to restaurants and gift shops and looking for these little statues. Anyway, you find the corresponding statue on the map, and you put the proper sticker on the map and you complete the whole thing. This one is from Spike's Pollination. Anyway, when your map is done and all your stickers are full because you found all the little statues, you turn it back into the gift shop and they give you a fun little prize, a little souvenir. What I love about this is finish it or don't finish it. Sometimes they give you the gift early. Therefore, it doesn't really matter if you finish the map or not. Either way, it can be fun for the kids to kind of run around and try to find Olaf or try to find Spike or try to find Remy, whatever, you know, the little character is for that time of year. So absolutely love the little scavenger hunts as well. As I said, guys, this is just a great way to kill time as we're waiting for Frozen or Remy for those Genie Plus passes. So we're just exploring, walking, shopping, eating, hanging out with princesses, whatever we want to do while those rides are, you know, while we're waiting for those ride times is essentially what we're doing here. So assuming you've ridden Frozen and you've ridden Remy and you've explored the World Showcase, again, your main entrance, people, you need to kick back to where you started. That's how you're going to exit. Now, I told you, if for some reason your Frozen pass or your Remy pass was early and you had to leave the area to go ride those right away, as you exit, this is a great time to ride those things you didn't already ride. So if you didn't get a chance to do Soarin', if you didn't get a chance to do Nemo, if you didn't get a chance to do Spaceship Earth, now is a good time to go ahead and do that. And bonus, if there's any Genie Plus passes left for those rides, you can absolutely pass them. So after you've done Frozen and after you've done Remy, you can go ahead and pass Nemo or pass Soarin' or whatever it is that you haven't already passed and you have yet to ride. You can go ahead and pass it as you exit. Or if you're like us, perhaps you've already passed it, you've already ridden it, but the weights are low, you can go ride them again. So that's the great thing, is if the rides were a little long in the morning and you ended up having to pass them or whatever you ended up doing, on your way back to the main entrance, you can ride them again. If Nemo's only 5 or 10 minutes, we will absolutely ride it again. If Soarin', if we walk past Soarin' and it's like 20 minutes, we will go ride it again. Spaceship Earth, same thing. So we came in and we rode these things as we're waiting for Remy and Frozen, and then as we push back towards the main gate, we're gonna ride these things again, pass depending, wait time depending. I really, really hope this makes sense, guys. Epcot can be very confusing because unfortunately there is no easy way to get to things, especially when talking about Remy and Frozen. I mean, they're kind of stuck in the World Showcase and there's no like quick, easy in, quick, easy out, if that makes sense. But remember, as I said, our ride goals for the kiddos: Remy, Frozen, and Soarin'. That's what you want to focus on your passes. Once you've already passed those 3 and you've done those 3 and there's time to spare, then go ahead and pass the other things, ride things twice, do whatever you want. Anything else on top of Remy, Frozen, Soarin' is bonus. If you have older kids with you, or of course the adults, if you want to ride coasters or any other intense rides, it's going to be up to you to filter those in as you need, because again, this video is for the younger set. But as promised, for those of you coming in via the Skyliner or Epcot Resorts, so those of you who are coming in through the International Gateway, this section is for you, and I'm going to run through it quick because we're basically going to do the reverse of what the main gate people did, because you're basically coming at the back as they're coming in the front. So as they're pushing to the back, you're pushing forward. So for you guys, rope drop people, resort guests, don't worry about Remy. Go ride it. Rope drop. Just run right over it. You're going in through the International Gateway. The country that's right next to you is right there next to France. And that's where Remy is. So you, rope drop people, 30 minutes early, just bloop, go right into Remy. Don't even worry about it. In fact, you can ride it at rope drop and then pass it later. You could do it twice. You could ride it once at rope drop and pass it. But again, for you, you might want to worry about Remy as a walk-on and pass Frozen at 7 a.m. Unless you want to do Remy twice, in which case you would pass Remy, hopefully for later in the day, and then do all the passing, like I said, Remy, Frozen, Soarin'. But either way, you're coming in 30 minutes early, International Gateway, just boop, go do Remy. You can at that point quickly run to Frozen and see if you can get Frozen, but if you have Genie Plus, don't worry about it, just pass it for later. Or you should have already passed it at 7 a.m. Hopefully it makes sense, guys. So you quickly did Remy, you already have passes for Frozen. Now you're pushing forward while everyone else is pushing back. So this is when you're gonna do Figment and Soarin' and Nemo. You're basically doing the reverse of what I just said. Everything, of course, is time depending. If it's time for you to quickly do your Frozen pass, then don't go further in, go towards the World Showcase and get closer to Frozen. Everything, sadly, is time-based, depending on what time you got your Frozen pass and all your other Genie Plus passes. But everything is kind of the same, Remy, Frozen, Soarin'. You're gonna work your way to the front, passing what you can. And since you've already ridden Remy and you've passed Frozen, it's gonna be easier for you to then pass Soarin'. And by the time you get to Spaceship Earth, it might be a little bit longer of a wait for you. So you might want to pass Spaceship Earth as the main gate people rode it with no wait. So this is where it becomes the reverse, because by the time you get to the main gate rides, they're gonna have longer waits. Therefore, you might wanna pass them, but it's not a big issue for you because you've already gotten Remy and you've already gotten Frozen out of the way. Therefore, you can pass those things in the front. So yes. Hopefully you guys are with me again. If you're doing International Gateway, of course, by the time you get to the Mexican Pavilion, don't forget to do the 3 Caballeros and of course explore the World Showcase as I mentioned before. So you're doing the reverse essentially. So food. I suggested you do Garden Grilled, the character meal over at the Land Pavilion, but just in case you don't want to or you didn't get it, there's also Coral Reef. Coral Reef is eating around a giant fish tank, which is a lot of fun for those kiddos, and of course, Space 220. Space 220 is hard to get and it's really expensive, but if it's important to you and your family, it is a fun restaurant for kiddos. So don't forget about Space 220. And if you're looking for a quick service or kind of just mobile order, I do love Sunshine Seasons, especially because according to my itinerary, you're gonna be in the Land Pavilion around lunch anyway. Remember I said Garden Grill, Soarin', Living with the Land, same area? Well, that's exactly where Sunshine Seasons is. You can get a lot of simple, easy eats, a lot of different variety of food depending on your the type of cuisine you want to eat that day. They have a good variety over at Sunshine Seasons. And of course, the World Showcase is filled with food, whether there's a festival going on or not. Each of those individual countries have quick service restaurants inside of them. So you can kind of eat and choose what international cuisine you're feeling like. We love eating in the Mexican Pavilion, absolutely love guac and chips. A lot of people love eating in Norway, or perhaps you want to eat in Japan and get some sushi. It really just depends what you're feeling, but yes, eating in the World Showcase is absolutely phenomenal. Note, if you have food allergies, I 100% advise that you avoid the World Showcase. The World Showcase is often filled with restaurants that aren't always Disney run, which means they have kind of different policies and guidelines. And basically, to be honest, I have been fed my allergen 3 times now in the World Showcase, when I haven't been fed my allergy through the other Disney restaurants. So that's just a little tip there for those of you who do have food allergies. I haven't had an issue in Mexico, but that's because I'm ordering food I know is already safe. but you definitely want to go ahead and let them know about your allergy and just be really careful. When I know we're going to spend lunch or dinner in the World Showcase, I will often pack my kiddos a little lunch or snack to kind of tide them through, because I know the World Showcase can be a little difficult when it comes to food allergies. But of course, if you're near the American Pavilion, you can go ahead and eat at the Regal Eagle. That is a Disney-owned restaurant, and I haven't had an issue at that location. I'm talking more about the international cuisine restaurants. Yeah, I don't want to nitpick which ones that did it, but just be careful. That's really my big heads up there. So the rides I didn't mention, that for those of you who are parents or you have older kids or you're looking for thrill rides, these are the things I didn't mention that you could possibly work into your game plan here. And that, of course, is Test Track and Mission Space. Now, some kids love Test Track, and that's great. I wouldn't necessarily start a toddler off at Test Track, but to each their own. If that ride is important to you, then go ahead and filter in Test Track into your game planning. Also, Mission Space, didn't talk about it, have no interest in it. Yes, it is a motion ride. It is a virtual reality, like you're an astronaut. And yes, it can get you sick. Therefore, I just forget that it even exists, to be honest with you. And then, of course, there's the Pixar Short Film Festival. Now, this is great if it's raining or it's cold, or you just need your kid to kind of sit and chill. You just sit in a theater and you watch Pixar shorts. Most of them are shorts you can watch on Disney Plus anyway, but sometimes, you guys know, your kid they just need a break. They just need a moment to chill, and rather than giving them your phone or a tablet, you can take them over to the Pixar Film Festival and they can watch a movie, and it's all in good fun. It's Pixar, it's Disney, it's great. The other thing I didn't mention is the World Showcase is filled with shows and performances and other types of exhibits that you may want to add to your game plan itinerary. It was just none of them are really like overly kiddie focused, so I kind of just left them off. I know in France you can do the Beauty and the Beast sing-along. That's another thing that you can add to your itinerary as well. But hopefully I helped you guys out. Hopefully this made sense. Epcot is difficult. I've been putting off this video for a while, and I think that's why and I wanted to know if Genie Plus was going to change a little bit for 2023. Epcot is just weird. It's not like the other parks where there's a main central area in the center and you can kind of easily weave throughout. Epcot is very much like you're either in the front or you're in the back. And it's not super easy to go from the front to the back, which is why you do have to kind of follow the map a little bit. But depending on your Remy and Frozen times, you could be a bit of a human ping pong ball, which I usually try to avoid. So that's why I said it's really helpful to get your top 5 must-dos. You get an idea of what Epcot looks like, so you're not just running around like, I don't even know what's happening kind of situation, because that will most definitely stress you out and wear you out. But as I have said before, my family absolutely loves Epcot despite the way that it's kind of planned and arranged. And of course, the new Moana exhibit that they're building right now is going to be amazing. So many things to look forward to. But again, guys, don't forget to check out my other Epcot itinerary planning video, where I may have said things slightly different in that video, more for, if you have a mixed age children. Go ahead and check that one out. Check out my other Epcot vlog videos, because that will kind of give you a real-time situation of what a family actually can do and see, and you'll get an example of the rides. And of course, I have Genie Plus updated videos. I have the My Disney Experience app video. Make sure you check all those out together, because watching all these videos and knowing what you're doing before you get there is really going to be key. The last thing you want to do is show up and be like, oh, now what do I do? I don't even know. What do I do? Nina said Remy and Frozen, but you don't want to be that person. You want to kind of have a game plan and know what you're doing ahead of time. And that's why watching these videos and doing your research and looking at the map is going to be helpful. So anyway, guys, we've been talking long enough. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm really, really hoping it helped you out. Again, if this Epcot for Kids video helped you out, don't forget I have Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom for children out there right now. But yes, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If the subscribe button is red, please click it, turn it gray, hit the bell icon for notifications, like this video, and comment. Is this what you were hoping for? Do I need to do a separate video if we enter through the international gateway? That was my other thought, was to do a main entrance video and an international gateway video. So let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'm hoping just understanding that you're doing the reverse is okay. Let me know. Nina's just trying her best, guys. I am really just trying to help you guys plan out your vacations so you don't get frustrated. I see a lot of people who enter and they're like, they don't even know what to do. So I'm trying to avoid that for you guys. But as always, mahalo for watching. Nina out. Bye.